So, good afternoon and welcome to Newsline. One full hour of news, views, interviews, counter views, comments, background reports, and in-depth analysis. Issues all about Liberia and the rest of the world. It's midweek Wednesday, June 5, 2024. My name is Alpha Rogers. Top stories this afternoon: President Joseph Walker orders investigation into turn of events at the EA after suspending the director and his two deputies. LBS and Liberia News Agency set to sign a memorandum of understanding on news content sharing. Government secures 40 million World Bank funding to improve infrastructure at public institutions. And away from home, dozens of gold miners trapped following heavy rains in central Nigeria. Details of these interesting stories, the news in simple Liberian English, French, and sports, all coming up right after Grace Moliyezi sets the pace with a bulletin of news.
President Boakai has ordered an investigation into the rigmarole that occurred at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency on June 3. It followed the suspension of the LDA Director Abraham Kroma and his two deputies, Baoko and Hassan Fadiga. The Liberian leader described as unacceptable the acts of disorder and chaos that took place at the headquarters of the agency. He noted that such acts threaten public peace and undermine government's fight against illicit drugs. Meanwhile, President Boakai has named Christopher Peters as officer in charge of the agency pending the conclusion of the investigation. President Joseph Boakai has called for increased interstate collaboration to strengthen global access to food and mineral security. The Liberian leader said with collective action and support of governments, civil society groups, and partners, challenges confronting food security will be improved. President Boakai made the call at the ongoing Korea-Africa Summit during the Forum on Strengthening Food and Mineral Security. According to the president, the proper usage and accountability of a country's natural wealth will improve the livelihood of populations and mitigate climate change, hunger, malnutrition, and poverty across the world. President Boakai also wants concrete and urgent steps taken by global leaders in curtailing resource deficit and save the future. The Liberia Broadcasting System and the Liberia News Agency have intensified discussions to strengthen collaboration. The move will, in the coming weeks, culminate into a signing of a memorandum of understanding between the two institutions. Under the MOU, the two state-run media entities are expected to share news contents with the public, making use of available channels. Speaking after a meeting in Painesville Wednesday, LBS Director General Eugene Fagon expressed excitement at the possible deal, saying it will enhance access to information for the public.
We're now moving towards a memorandum of understanding that will see our both teams working together in the interest of the Liberian people. Lena has a wide range of coverage when it comes to correspondence around the country. And most of the time they leave these very important stories that is just on their websites or sometimes on their social media page. We want to go beyond that. We have a little bit of correspondence, but with this collaboration now, the Liberian people can rest assured they will have full package.
For his part, Lena Director General Chokonta thanked the LBS management for the collaboration and stressed the importance of attribution in the sharing of contents between the two institutions. Central Bank of Liberia has secured $40 million United States dollars from the World Bank to build the infrastructure capacity of several government entities. The institutions are National Investment Commission and Liberia Business Registry, among others. Two officials of the Liberia Investment Financing Trade Project at the CBL, Jake Brown and Joseph Howard, said part of the money will support small Liberian businesses through the Commerce Ministry. Jake Brown and Joseph Howard will disclosed 50% of the $40 million is loan, while the remaining 50% was secured under a grant portfolio. The Liberia Refugees Repatriation and Resettlement Commission (LRRC) has apologized to the public about the information provided on the number of returnees on drugs. It can be recalled on May 28, the executive director of LRRC, Patrick Wazee, told MICAT regular press conference that 80% of the returnees were drug users. In an ELBC interview Wednesday, LRRC Executive Director Patrick Wazee said the misinformation was provided to him by the entities. Meanwhile, Mr. Wazee said the commission has taken serious administrative actions on staff involved. He at the same time reaffirmed LRRC commitment to providing the public with accurate information surrounding the ongoing repatriation process. The president of the Liberia community in Ghana, Dennis Guion, is appealing to government to ensure the return of hospitalized and imprisoned Liberians in Ghana. Mr. Guion said there is a need for the government to seek the welfare of those in hospitals and prisons during the ongoing repatriation exercise. He noted that abandoning the sick and Liberian inmates in Ghana could create further trauma for the affected persons and their family members. Guion said due to the illness, some of the stranded Liberians are unable to board the buses chartered by the government. He at the same time called on the Liberian government to negotiate with their Ghanaian counterpart to ensure that Liberian inmates return home and serve their jail term. World Chimpanzee Foundation Country Director Anika Hillis has called on the Liberia Land Commission and partners to accelerate the land familiarization process. The Liberia Land Commission and partners are engaged in the legalization of customary land to ensure the protection of traditional people's rights to land ownership. But Madam Holler said delay in the land formalization process is undermining the proposed protected areas across the country. She noted the situation is troubling and has the potential to stall conservation and ecotourism activities on the government's arrest agenda. Meanwhile, Madam Hollers told a recent policy dialogue about the foundation's preparedness to financially support the land familiarization initiative to speed up the process. 13 million Liberian dollar worth of narcotic substances have been turned over to the new leadership of the Sino County Detachment of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency by the outgoing LDA Commander Elisha Kumute. Mr. Kumute said the drugs were confiscated during his administration. In remarks, the new LDA Commander Milton Howard commended the outgoing head of the agency for the initiative and promised to fight against drug abuse across the country. Mr. Milton urged community dwellers to continue reporting drug cases in the county. And Chinese ambassador to Liberia Ying Chengwu has reaffirmed China's commitment to the developmental agenda of the Liberian government. Ambassador Yin highlighted the importance of the One China policy to Liberians and emphasized the need for empowering women in the country. The Chinese ambassador spoke Tuesday when he paid a courtesy visit to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The visit at the Ministry of Internal Affairs was intended to extend an invitation to the minister to attend the Sino-African Local Government Cooperation Summit to be held in Guangzhou from July 8 to 10 this year. The summit will be co-hosted by the Chinese People's Association for Friendship and Foreign Countries and the Guangdong Provincial People's Government.
Grace Muriyezi returns a little later. That's when you listen to the international news. This is Newsline on State Radio. One of the big stories we following President Joseph Boakai orders investigation into turn of events at DEA after suspending a director and his two deputies. Today's one now, the Liberia Broadcasting System is urging closer to a major deal with the Liberia News Agency on content sharing and dissemination of information to the public. The announcement was made Wednesday by the Director Generals of the two institutions at LBS. LBS Eugene Fagon believes the move will enhance public access to information, while Lina Boss Chokonta stressed the importance of attribution to the sharing of contents between the two institutions. They spoke with Edward Tamba and Francis Pelena after their meeting in Painesville today.
We discussed a wide range